Hi, my name is Shannon Scott, and I am here to bring to you another Small Biz Spotlight. I absolutely adore doing these, you can tell, right? But the person I'm introducing you today is Jordan Blades, and he is the owner of Neighborhood Wine and Spirits in downtown Littleton on Main Street. This shop opened in the fall of 2020. Kind of, would be, some people would think it was a risky decision, but definitely a necessary one for Jordan and his wife and their business that they run. And so when you walk in this door, it's warm, it's welcome. There's lots of assistance in helping you find the wine for that perfect time of celebration. Maybe it's just a weekend dinner or whatever it is, but just come with me behind the scenes to learn more about this great neighborhood store owner, Neighborhood Wine and Spirits. Creative Grace Homes doing another Small Biz Spotlight with Jordan Blades.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
Neighborhood wine and alcohol, no. But downtown Littleton, and I'm so delighted to be here in the store. We met really at the beginning of 2020 or towards the fall of 2020 when we took ownership. So just tell me more about that.
My wife and I own a restaurant in Inglewood. Technically, my wife owns a restaurant in Inglewood, and I own the wine shop. And 2020, as you may remember, was not a great time to own a restaurant.
Right.
So we diversified and bought this little wine shop on Main Street here in downtown Littleton.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great idea to buy a wine shop during 2020.
It was a good time to own a liquor store, not a great time to own a restaurant. So we,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we now, now I run the wine shop and my wife runs the restaurant, and
And so so the restaurant business, right, obviously feeds the wine business, but did you have a career in that before, or you always were in the food industry, or how did that work?
So I worked in restaurants for a little over 20 years before we opened One Barrel in Inglewood. My wife and I met working together in a restaurant. We met working at Steakhouse 10, another locally owned restaurant. And then my wife I always wanted to be a restaurateur, and she never did. And so my passion for it kind of rubbed off on her. And then, ironically enough, she's the one who ended up with the restaurant. And now I sell wine. So,
well, that's fun.
Yeah.
And so, are you am I going to say this right? The sommelier? Is that?
So I'm not a sommelier.
Okay.
I'm big on rules, and so I have not obtained the certification of a sommelier.
Mm-hmm.
By definition, I could probably call myself one, but I choose not to because I'm not. I do have a certified sommelier who works for me. His name is Chris, and he's an amazing employee, and I would be totally lost without him. But we just work very well together. We both kind of, as any good partnership, we both kind of fill, roles that the other doesn't have, and so on and so forth. And so, we just make a great team, and I'm very happy to have him around.
Well, that's great to know, because for me, when I come in here, I never know really where to start, right? And so that's always really helpful. Plus, you have not only you have wine here, you have some fine spirits and some really nice accessories, I could say, for wine openers and all that fun stuff. It's just really a wonderful place to come in here. And so what would you say is the best part about being in this business and down here in downtown Littleton?
The people. I mean, that's what I always loved about the restaurant industry, and you know, when I tell people all the time, my favorite thing is building relationships with people. And when somebody comes in and, you know, and they're not real experienced in wine, and we help them find a bottle and they take it home and they love it. It's great when somebody comes back and they say, oh, that was wonderful, let me have another one. But even better than that, and when you know you've started building a relationship, is when they come back and they say, that was great, what else do you have?
Oh.
And then they allow us to build on that relationship and help them explore new wines and new places in the world where, you know, they might not have tried wine from. And when you build that trust and you build that relationship with somebody, that's hands down the best part of this business.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to me, right? As a small business owner, we have lots of those down here in downtown Littleton. And that's what I love to do too, is just create relationships with people, because at the end of the day, that's who we're doing business with, not just the brick and mortar, but it's who stands behind the door and whose passion it is. And the one thing that I thought was really wonderful about this shop is that I just don't ever feel lost when I come in here. And I may not even buy anything when I'm coming in here intentionally, or I'll get a gift certificate, or I'll leave with something that I'll leave with something that I wasn't intending on purchasing. And that's what I like too, is that it's really fun.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing I know too is that the partnership that you've created down here, I just, because we're all neighbors, so to speak, neighborhood wine, right, is really super important. So what else can we know about this business? Because I do know sometimes you've talked about like local wineries or within a short distance of here. So tell me a little bit about that.
So we try to support, I'm a Colorado native, and so we work closely with just one Colorado winery, which is Kingman Estates. Colorado wine there's some really fantastic wine in Colorado, and there's some really subpar wine in Colorado. And that's the same with anywhere in the world. There's, France has really great wine, and they have some really bad wine too. Right. And so because it's such a small shop and it's hard to have a wider arrangement of Colorado wines, in order to support Colorado more, I only carry Colorado beers. And then we've recently added some charcuterie type things, and so I carry like Il Porcellino salamis and things like that, which they're a local purveyor of fine meats and things like that.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
And then also we have like some crackers and cookies from Gnarly Mountain Cookie Company, and then these crackers that are called flour crackers, FLOUWER, and they're actually made with pressed flowers in the crackers, and they're really fantastic. And that's a locally owned company that makes those as well.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's really fun, because we can see flowers on top of our, sometimes they'll come on our coffee or anything, but how fun to have that in the cracker.
It's really cool. They're dried and then pressed into the crackers, along with herbs and seasoning as well. So they're really cool, thin little crackers.
Oh, fun. Well, I'm going to have to get some of those.
They're fantastic.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, anything that you would like to share with the community, how we can support you in any way, what do you need from us? What can we do for you?
I think supporting, a small business or a small wine shop like this, it just coming to a place like this not only supports me and but also, it's better for consumers, right?
Thank you for tuning in to another introduction to a great business in small Littleton in Colorado. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Shannon.